Hi guys, welcome back. It's Henry. Again at this here geek. It occurred to me before I got too long into this that I kind of wanted you guys, or at least to know a little bit about me, is who I am and why I'm kind of doing this here. Yeah, I'm an old school geek. I'm 47 years old. I've been a practicing geek since birth. Since I was just this little. I started reading to start collecting comic books, really. My uncle was a collector, and so, I'm a collector. Now, everybody starts off reading their uncle's comics, it seems like, and I am no different than anybody else. Yeah, 3 years old, started actively collecting comic books on my own. Had to get taken across the street to do it, but still, yeah, always about that life. Comic book collecting hit me early on. So did horror movie. A love and addiction. Oh boy, I saw my first horror movie probably around about I was way too young. I do not recommend. I was 6 years old when I first saw my first horror movie. I think it was Aliens. Alien, yeah. The original Alien with Sigourney Weaver. I saw that in the drive-in movie theater. Um, in the back seat, I'd snuck in. Um, yeah, way into pre-gaming, actually. My dad brought home the very first Pong system. He described it to me as a home gaming console, which goes to show how old I am. Um, so yeah, I've always been about the life since pre-geek. I guess as long as there was been like horror movies and sci-fi and comic books and stuff way back into the early 1920s and such, there's always been geek culture. Just really, maybe they didn't know it. Maybe they didn't have a name. But yeah, ever since the get-go, I've always been about this. So my whole goal here in this little thing that I have for you here is to just kind of share the love. Share the love and help people bring themselves into who they truly are. Sometimes you need someone to shake you and go, "You're such a geek." And if I can be that guy, more power to me. Okay, so why else are we here? Well, today's a perfect day for a movie, and I have just the one for you. Big fan of horror movies, like I was just saying. I will watch horror movies 3 times a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year without any problem. Ask me how many I've seen to date, and I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands. It's a love of mine. And one of the best things about love is sharing it. And this is a gem. 1987's The Monster Squad. Directed by Fred Decker. It's a great movie. It's about a bunch of kids. They were all the same age as me when this movie came out. Oh my goodness. So, it hit a chord right here. Now, The Monster Squad is a hit now. But just like a lot of horror movies, they don't really hit their stride until they're released on, or at least back then, they didn't really hit their stride until they're released on VHS and seen in video like HBO and Cinemax and stuff. But they didn't really hit their stride by then. But this movie here was a real hidden gem. It came out in a great year for movies, 1987. For sci-fi movies, horror movies, oh my gosh, it's a great year. I personally went and saw Evil Dead 2, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. Oh, I saw that. I saw RoboCop that year. I did not see Lethal Weapon that year. I got to see that later on. But Lethal Weapon came out that year. So many great science fiction. science fiction and horror movies. Another personal favorite of mine, Amazon Women on the Moon. Great movie. But a lot of great movies came out in 1987, and this one is a hidden gem. When I say hidden gem, I mean hidden. People who went to see Monster Squad now is like people who went to Woodstock. You know, it's like everybody says they went, but hey, I was there. I was in the movie theater, and I didn't see none of y'all. They banked around $3,700,000 for this project. I mean, all told, it cost them about $12 million, I think. So, not good, but they yanked it early. They weren't showing any respect to movies around about this period. If you didn't show right away, you got yanked. They also did the same thing to Who's That Girl, who came out this year with Madonna. This was her. She was like on tour. She was going crazy bank on tour, but no one was going to see this movie. And they yanked this early too, along with Ishtar. That came out. That's okay. Well, that was an awful movie, but they yanked that one too. This year as well, 1987, great year for movies. This is a gem. Now, The Monster Squad is a personal favorite of mine. I went and saw this with a couple of friends of mine. Like when I say like, I didn't see none of y'all, I meant like that movie theater was not empty, but there was just like me, my two friends, and maybe like a few other kids in the back. Great movie. I loved every second of it and was an instant fan. I was totally surprised when they pulled it a week later. It was gone. So if you didn't see it in the first 2 weeks, you didn't see it until it came out on VHS or watch it on HBO or something. Now, this is a great movie. Like I said, it stars about a group of friends who basically fight Universal's old school, monster set. Although they couldn't make any alludes to, like, they had to make changes and stuff to the monsters themselves because they couldn't actually look like the Universal monsters because they didn't have the permission to do that. So you notice a few changes, like the Wolfman looks a little bit different and Dracula looks a little bit different. And those are the changes that they had to make in order to make these creatures come to. There was, let me see, Dracula, the Wolfman, there was Gillman. Wolfman has nards, yeah. There was Gillman. Let me see, the Mummy. And these kids, I won't give it away. I won't give it away because if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. You need to see it. You need to see it. But it came out in 1987. Do the due diligence. Go see the movies. Yeah. It's a great movie. Like I've said about 5 or 6 times. I'm sorry. Geek love. Came out in 1987, made about $3,700,000. Like I said, it's one of those movies that had to catch steam. Not to say that at the time that it came out, it had a lot of stuff around it, but it was a great overall summer of movies. So there was a lot of competition. You had to pull or you got pulled. And this was one of those. I watch it every Halloween season. I do my 31 days of horror just like a lot of people do. And this is always in the mix somewhere. I recommend this to kids young and old. It stars Andre Gower, Ryan Lambert, Ashley Banks, cute little Ashley. Let me see, Tom Noonan, the great Tom Noonan, Duncan Rear. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. As Dracula, which is cool. There's so many cool stories about this project, this movie. They made a whole little. It's got its own little world, and definitely worth a deep dive to get into. It's something I plan on doing on later projects. I just kind of made the boys breakfast and had to come out and shout this at you guys. But later on, I'll do a deeper dive into this movie because I can't help it. and discover new things and share them with you, my friends. Yeah? Okay, so the movie for today is The Monster Squad. Please enjoy. Brought to you by this here geek. Hi, Henry again. Y'all have fun. Oh, and once again, if you like what you've seen here today, like I said, I'm still working on it. Oh, mercy. But if you like what you've seen here today, please don't forget to hit that like and that subscribe. Give me a holler. Let me know what you think. Like I said, I got some things to work on, but so much love and so much joy to spread and to bring to you. Oh my goodness. Hey, this here geek. Have a good day, y'all.